Hey guys and gals, welcome back to another Vinny Vid Productions video. I am Vinny, your host, also known as BNSF 6951. This is a model railroad channel. So if you guys are interested in run-up sessions, scratch builds, live streams, prototypes, and everything related to model railroads, this is the channel for you. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button down there. Hit the bell that's up there and give me those too. Anyhow, with all that being said, let's get on with the video, so come on in. This Vinny Vid production brought to you by Yankee Dabbler. For all your model railroad needs, check out Yankee Dabbler. Don't forget, 7% discount with BNSF 6951. And by Highways and Byways, awesome street graphics for your roads and streets on your model railroad layout. If you guys are looking for sophisticated model railroad electronics, Logic Rail Technologies has what you need. For a 5% discount on certain items, use code BNSF6951. Alright guys, now it's time for the next step on your layout. Trees. I have been dealing with Bob for 7 years now, and he does excellent work on his trees. So if you need some trees on your layout, check out Long Shadow's Trees. Tell them the cuz sent you. Hey guys and gals, welcome back to another Vinny Built Structures video. I have been building a Mi Jac crane for one of my customers, and I've been running into issues with it. And I don't know if you guys have been getting the same issues as I've been having. Anyhow, the kit is this here WALTHERS N scale Mi Jac's kit. Now, what I found on this is where the eyelets are very, very thin, and as soon as you put the wire in there that they give you and you twist it, they break. So with that being said, I am going to show you how I overcame that problem. Unfortunately, the first part of this video, I forgot to turn the microphone on. Oopsie! So I'm going to do probably a voiceover and try and explain what I'm doing in that first part of the film. But the second part of the video, the second clip is okay, and the third clip will be okay also. Yeah, it'll be 3 clips. Anyhow, with all that being said, let's get on with this video right now. Alright guys, we're going to start doing this build here for Mr. Manny Fernandez, and I think you guys know that it is the, let me get this up here a little bit, it's the Mi Jac crane by Cornerstone, and we're going to start doing this. We actually started doing it last night on my live stream, and I already went ahead and built the towers, and as you can see, this slides very nicely, and the other one's exactly the same. So today, in this video, we're going to concentrate on this area right here, which is the motor housing, and then we'll continue on to the cab section. We're going to do this in kind of modular way of doing it. I always stress to put as many parts together as you can before you actually paint stuff. And another way that we're going to get the stuff off the sprues is either with the knife or with the sprue cutters. Now, I found out last night there really wasn't enough room to use the sprue cutters, but we're going to do it anyhow. I did go ahead and mark these little dots in here to know that these are the parts that need to come off right now, and we're going to go ahead and do that. It's just too bad that they don't have other ways of identifying them. So let's see. I know I marked them, but I want to make sure what numbers are where. 37 is the floor. Okay, so we'll go ahead and take that guy off. And again, when you start doing these kit builds, if you're going to use sprue cutters, always put the flat side towards the part you're going to save. It does get it a bit closer. And this one here now is the floor. And we're going to feel it and see if there's any sprue stuff left on here. If there isn't, we're good. If there is, we need to do some sanding. Alright, so that's the floor. And now So now this floor piece looks like it has to go this way. All right, but I do see some flashing on there from the sprues. So we're going to go ahead and take my sanding stick, and we're going to go ahead and give that a little sanding. It doesn't have to be hard, just enough so you can run your finger over it and you don't feel the little bumps in there. The better you clean up your parts, the better your model kit's going to be. So we're going to do that to all the parts here, just to make sure we're all good. Let's see, looks like got a little bit on this one right here. And I'm not putting any pressure on this, I'm just barely touching it. And the same thing on this side. One thing I don't like about these Cornerstone kits is the instructions really suck. Put part A to part B, you know. It doesn't tell you if this part goes on the outside or this part goes on the inside. You got to figure that out for yourself as you start putting the kit together. Alright, that looks pretty good right there. Alright, now let's see if we can do this. Alright, it looks like this guy's going to go upside down this way. And then this guy's going to go in here. There is a detent or a boss on there. I don't know if you can see that. Alright. Now, I have never used the glue I'm about to use here, so I don't know how it's going to work. But I guess I'm about to find out. If I can get this to hold in position, I guess that'll work. Alright, I'm going to be using this Tamiya extra thin. I thought I saw somebody using it. I don't know if it was. I think it was Steve 87th. We're going to give him a try and see how he works. Right, like I said, real tiny brush. I don't know how much I'm here and how much cold here. And I'll do this actually make some coffee. So let's see what we got here. Alright. Oops. Now, what I need to do, should I get this square? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop right now with the 1, 2, 3 blocks and putting it together home square. Be right back. Alright guys, and we're back. So now what I'm doing is I did go ahead and put both of these walls on here, or sides on here, whatever you want to call them. And I'm not too sure about this glue. It seems like it takes quite a while to set up. But now we got the two end pieces, and this piece, oops, where'd you go? Aha, gotcha. This piece here has a grill on the back of it, like a radiator grill. And I know you guys are probably not going to see that, but it is there. And so that needs to go on this side according to the picture that I am looking at. And like I said, I'm not really too sure about this glue just yet. I don't know if it's good or not or whatever, but we'll see. So let's see, we've got that there. Alright guys, the problem was I didn't have these walls sitting 100% in the spot that they needed to be in, so I got 3 of them on here, and we're going to go ahead and put the last one on. And according to my picture, let's see, we have this cutout on here that needs to go towards me. So we'll go ahead and put them down there. I'm going to take some of this glue. Now I won't lie to you guys, to put these sidewalls on, I did use my Model Masters. Only so I can make it dry up quicker, but this Tamiya seems to work okay. I might want to use a bigger brush maybe, I don't know. But anyhow, let's put this guy in here. And like I said, that's got to go towards me on this side. And stick him in there like that. And that's looking really good now. I'm liking that. Alright, so the body of the engine is pretty much complete. And now this is the roof section right here, and it gets oriented in a special way also. The side with the cutout that I just showed you guys will get this little bump that you see on here. This little guy right here. And he will sit inside of what we already made, supposedly. And yes, he does. Perfect. Okay, come on out. Oopsie. There you go. Alright. So now that I know it fits, I'm going to go ahead and put some glue in there. And we'll just let this piece dry up and we'll move on to the next section here. Yeah, I'm just not too used to using a brush. I guess it just needs to get used to it, right? Alright, we'll stick him in there. Oops. See, this Tamiya glue takes a lot longer to set up. And so one of the front pieces just fell off. Yeah, I'm not too sure if I'm liking this. I'm liking this glue. See, because my front piece fell off. So we'll reinstall it again. This time we'll put some more glue. I guess because I need to give it some time to set up. Like I said, I've never used this type of adhesive before, so I'm not quite sure how it works. But like everything else, you'll just have to get used to using it. Alright? That's good. Alright. So now we have the engine housing complete. And now we are going to move on to the next part, which is this number 3 and number 4. And we're going to see how that's going to work out, because again, they don't give you very good instructions on how to do that. Let's see, so it says glue engine housing 33, 36, 40, 41, and 23 together to base number 37. Okay, we did all of that just now. Glue cab walls, and then it's going to move on to the cab, which is down here, which I'm not ready yet. I want us to put this guy together and see how that's going to look on there. So, let's see if we can find those two parts, and there they are right there, which are these two parts right here. And we'll go ahead and cut those out. And this one, let's see, number 4 is going to be on the bottom. So this one here is number 4. So he's going to be on the bottom. Alright. And then number 3 will be on top. And this is going to be the transition between the motor and the cab assembly. From what I understand in here in this picture, is what it looks like to me. So basically, what I just built needs to sit in here somehow, or sit on there somehow. I'm just talking to myself, fellas. Let's see, we got that facing up. Oh, okay, with the little dimples up there. Okay, so yeah, that's how that goes. Alright, that goes like that. And I'm not quite sure, they don't show if there's a right side and wrong side to this thing. I do see parts that are bending and breaking here. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and sand this piece together and figure out how it goes, because the instructions are very, very vague, the picture, and it just says to glue this part to that part. And again, I'm just checking for the flash and stuff. Okay. See, I do feel that right there. Let's see if I can see it on the picture. Alright guys, let me figure out how this has got to go together, because like I said, the pictures are very vague on how they got stuff to put together here. But I'm gonna try and figure this all out. I'll be back in a few. Alright guys, before I continue to put this guy together right here, this lower support, I'm not quite sure how it's got to go because it does not say, but I feel that there's these little nubs on the top of here, and I don't think those need to get sanded down. I think those are going to be places that need to get parts adhered to. So we're going to go ahead and build the cab and then see how the cab fits on that part, and we'll continue from there. So with that being said, we need parts number 34, 35, 24, and 25. I don't know why they don't have these in succession, but they don't. So we'll go ahead and cut these off. Here's 2 of them here and 2 of them here, and then these are going to be the roof and floor, I'm assuming. I have not checked yet, but we'll go ahead and cut these guys out. And then these guys, now it says that if you want to put glass in there, I should get some acetate in there, but you know what, I got to paint this first before I put any acetate in there. So, and they don't include it. Could you imagine that? You pay 30 or 40 bucks for a kit and they don't give you all the stuff you need. Imagine that. Alright. Oh shit. Oops, sorry. Oops, sorry about that. That's why this is not for kids. Alright, so I got all my parts now. Now again, I'm going to sand off all my little sprue points. And I know you guys say, oh, you do a lot of sanding. Well, yeah, I do, because I know that that's going to make a good model. Everything is going to fit just nice and all that kind of good stuff. And again, I'm not really sanding that hard. I'm just getting that little nub off of there. I forgot how it is to do a model kit with these small parts. So, and you can see it. If you can't feel it, I mean, if you can see it. If you can't see it, you definitely will feel it. All right, those 2 are done. Done. Now this here is a mounting point, so we need to make sure that it is totally clean so it gets a good mount. Alright. And then the last one is this guy. Alright, so now let's see how this guy's got to go together. Alright, so this is going to be on the inside. Now let me get these on, and then that little cutout's going to be towards the back. Alright guys, unfortunately these parts are a little bit too small for me to be showing you how to do it on camera, only because my fingers are a little bit too big and I didn't want to do anything. But anyhow, as you can see, I got a couple of sub-assemblies done here. This is the entire crane assembly. They're not glued down yet, I could take them off. I'm just seeing how they could fit. The motor housing and one of the catwalks will be up here. And then the cab. Now the cab I had a little problem with. I don't know why I couldn't get the roofs to work in, the roof or the floor to work in this, so I had to cut some styrene out and put some styrene in there. And that is what I call adapt and overcome. Now the next part we're going to do is this grappler. This is like 2, 4, 5 pieces, and we're going to put this guy together. And once I get all these sub-assemblies done, I can see what needs to be painted, what color, and then I can start actually putting the sub-assemblies together and then start adding all the rest of the stuff. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and do this guy. And he's got little bosses on the bottom here. And this glue is working for me, except that I think it's just a little bit too thin for the rest of the smaller parts together that go inside the crane assembly itself. And these, when I put them together, I need to make sure that they're standing proud. Alright, so this guy, did he dry up pretty good? Yeah, it dries up pretty quick, I guess. Okay, and this one, there's one tab, and there's the other. Okay, a little dab of glue there, and a little dab of glue there, and one thing I do notice is that this glue dries up really quick too. It evaporates really quick. Alright, we're going to let that sit there for a minute, and then we're going to stick this guy in there. And hopefully, I mean, I don't understand that their directions are not that great, to be honest with you. So I don't know, you know, I'm putting it together basically by eye to make sure everything is fitting. That's why I don't glue everything all together at one time, just to make sure everything is fitting. So like I said, we're gonna let this guy dry up. I got him squared on my little mat, and he looks pretty square, and this guy should just fall right into place down there when I'm ready for him. So with that being said, we will be back shortly. Alright guys, as you can see, I got this guy, Grappler, I guess is what it's called, and these arms will be movable. See, we're not going to glue those in there. And he'll be able to either have them down or up or whatever he wants. But the next thing we're going to do to this is we're going to install 2 magnets down here because they are saying to put some metal inside the containers so you can be able to do this, but the Kato locomotives, Kato containers come with these already in them, so you'll be able to use this as recommended. So to do this, we're going to use some super glue, and we're just going to go ahead and put a dab inside each one of these little pockets here, and then just add the magnet. Come on. Interesting. Oh, there we go. Now I don't think I can use anything metal to put these in, so we'll just go ahead and drop them in by hand. And we'll do this side here. Oops, get in there, you. Like that. And the super glue should be good enough to hold those in place. Anyhow, we're getting close to getting this done. I have catwalks to do up here, and then the part that I did not do yet because it's going to probably frustrate the heck out of me, but that's going to be these little parts right down in here, and that's going to connect this to what I just built, and that's going to be connected with I think this is actually metal. Yeah, I think it's actually a piece of metal in there. I don't know if you guys can see that. But anyhow, there is a piece of metal in there, and I guess that's how I'm going to secure these parts together. Anyhow, it's been quite a while since I've done one of these kits, and I don't remember, but it's all coming back to me now. Anyhow, with all of that being said, I think we're going to take a break right now, and pretty much might do a primer coat on this here real quick, just to get this, get it ready. You know, let's see. Let's put these guys down, and let's let him stand up. I like it when a plan comes together. There you go. How's that? Alright, anyhow, we'll be back in a little bit. Alright guys, we're getting down to the nitty gritty right now. We're going to start putting these wheels together, and there is two different sizes, part number 7 and part number 8. And I'm just going to go ahead and take my very liquidy glue and just go around the seam on here. And I think that should work to glue these guys together. And I don't know how I'm going to paint these yet. I do not want to have black wheels on here. Alright, and there we go. Alright, we're going to let this guy dry up, and we'll go ahead and do the next one. What I usually do also is, as I start using up the parts on the sprue, I start cutting the sprue apart, just so I can see what the remaining parts are. Alright, so that's just my thing. You guys don't have to do that. It's just the way I do stuff. Just gets rid of most of the confusion as far as looking for parts and stuff. And we're running out of parts, so that means we're getting close. And again, I'm trimming all of the flash off of here as best I can. Wherever I see it, I will go ahead and take it off. And there you go. And now this will fit inside of this. Okay, and I see I got to do a little sanding right there. Okay, take that. Okay, and we'll do the same thing. We're just going to put it on the outside of the seam and let the glue flow into the joint. It seems that this is what it wants to do. Alright, so we got 2 more of these to put together, and we're getting ready for paint on this. I'm going to prime all of this here before I put the actual color on here. And I'm not going to do this yellow, I'm not going to do it orange, I'm going to do it a different color. Only because, I don't know, it's just something different, I guess. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and cut the rest of these guys off of here and go ahead and put the rest of these wheels together. So stay tuned, and we will be back in a little bit. Alright guys, we are continuing on with this build for Manny Fernandez, and as you can see, I got everything in primer except for this guy right here. This is the engine. And as you can see, I got a couple of different colors on there. The base is that perfect gray, then I have a black walkway, and then the exhaust muffler, and that blue thing is the oil tank. So yeah, so I got my Grappler all completed out, as you can see right there. And by the way, this is all in primer right now. I have all my handrails and ladders. I wish I had some more plastruck ladders, because these ladders are way out of proportion. Anyhow, you can see all of that. And then of course you got the main deal right here. And of course the wheels will be painted black. They're just on this so I can keep it off the little cab thing down there. And then finally, we have the cross beams with these guys, and these guys were a pain in the butt. Because you have to do it half on your bench, and then the other half you have to do it while it's on here, because there's no other way to get it on here and make it able to slide. See how it slides nice and pretty? And I got to clean up some of the paint down here because it does catch a little bit, but at least it works. Anyhow, this will be the last time you see this until it's finished. Because it's not going to be painted in yellow, or it's not going to be painted in orange. I'm going to do this in a Vinny Built Structures color. Yeah, because I might even do the same color on mine when I do mine. And Manny, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to get some practice on yours. So when I do mine, it'll be easier. So thank you. Anyhow, we'll talk to you guys in a little bit. Bye for now. Alright guys, unfortunately the microphone wasn't on in the first clip of this, so I'm going to have to do the entire audio voiceover. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and do the second piece here that's messed up, and I did do this one. I didn't show you guys, but this one here, if I can get this in here where you can see it, this one right here, I have repaired already. So now I'm going to cut this one off, and I'm going to do the same exact thing that I just did with the other piece. Anyhow, we'll go ahead and do that. Again, I'm going to use my sprue cutters. And we're going to cut it right as close to the base as we can get it. Just like that. And then, of course, we're going to need a little bit of sanding or filing, as we did on the other. Like I said, I'm trying to be organized here and put my tools away after I use them. That'll happen for a couple of days, and then it'll stop. Anyhow, let's go ahead and file this guy down. No, the other way. Trying to get this in screen. You know what? Let me zoom this out a bit. There you go. Alright, so I'm just going to go ahead and just file that down till it's smooth enough for me to put a piece on there. And this fix does not take very long. I would sell it to Walthers because it would definitely make an improvement on this kit. Alright, that looks pretty, well, not really, just a little bit more. Alright, that's good. And now we take my handy dandy little drill, and we will drill a hole as close to center as possible. And that is actually pretty good right there. I don't know what size bit this is. All I know is the wire fits through there. So that'll be something you'll have to figure out. Alright, you can see the hole in there. Alright, now I'm just going to go ahead and cut that other angle off right there. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect because I can sand it down to give it more of a curvature. And I did do that on the other one. So, and don't forget, put your finger over that, because if you don't, that piece will fly off into Never Never Land. Alright, so now that we got that, take our trusty toothpick again. And we'll get some of this super glue, and we just put a little bit on there. I'm using the super glue because I want this to stay strong. All right, and now with my trusty tweezers, and we put him on there. And as you can see, it's a bit bigger, but that's okay. I'm going to sand all of that down and make it look a little bit better. But anyhow, I am concerned with the holes, just to make sure that the holes are in the proper place and all that stuff. Anyhow, with all that being said, we'll be back here in a little bit when this all dries up, and I'll go ahead and paint it, and maybe even put this kit together finally. Anyhow, alright guys and gals, now that you have seen how we've gotten the repair done, we're going to go ahead and finish it up by rounding off the little dealy-mabobbers that I put on there and getting all ready for paint and all that kind of stuff. So with all that being said, let's get back down to the work table. Or is it that way? Maybe it's that way. I don't know. Let's just go there. Bye. Alright guys, so now we're down here at the workbench, and as you can see, I already did these two guys. One is painted already and one isn't because it was a previous repair. But you see I did round it off a little bit to make it look a little better, and I did stick the wire in there. The object of this is to make the hole not so close to the bottom edge of this, so when you do twist the wire or crimp the wire, it doesn't break. Anyhow, I'm going to show you how I rounded that off real quick. We're going to take the gravel, and as you can see, right now they're both on there, and one is rounded, which is the outer one, and this one has still got its points on it. So I'm going to go ahead and shave that down a little bit. And this is it's kind of tedious and it takes a few minutes to do, so don't rush into it. But we're just going to let's see, I think we need to get this camera up a bit, like right there, and then I can move this way. All right, so got a flat file here, and I'm just gonna, we'll do it this way. And we're just gonna rub it this way, back and forth, giving it that little bit of an arc that we need. And remember, don't go too close to the hole, don't take away too much material over the hole, so you don't run into a situation with your new pieces. And then after we do it this way, we'll do it another way also. Try and do it this way. And you just got to kind of roll it. You just want to take the edges off just to make it a little bit better. And when it's painted, you'll see after I get this painted how that's going to look. All right, and that's one side that's pretty rounded off. And now we'll just do the same thing on this one. And another thing that broke on this thing was the arms that come down to grab the containers. I had to fix that too. Show you what I'm talking about here in a minute. It's kind of hard because this piece is still on there and it's kind of getting in my way. So I need to be careful that I don't break that one. I don't want to do another one of these repairs. Yeah, that's not looking too bad. I mean, it's kind of hard to do this little piece and try not to take too much off over the hole. So, yeah, I think that'll pass. I just want to get this model finished. You know, I'm not rushing anything, but I've had it a long time, and Manny's been pretty cool about it. He's not rushing me or anything like that. But all right, so now I got both pieces rounded off to the best of my ability. I won that. It looks like I got to take a little bit off the side. Yeah, let me take a little bit off that side. Make it look a little bit better. This one, right? I have to look. For me to see it even better, I have to look at my screen. That's the other way. Yeah. All right. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Just file it down a little bit right here. That looks better. All right. So now the next step is going to be to paint up all the parts that I just replaced. And then hopefully we can get this silly thing together. So with all that being said, stay tuned and we will be back shortly. All right, guys and gals, this is the reveal of this Mi Jac crane that I just completed for Mr. Manny Fernandez. In spite of all the adaptions and overcomings I had to do in this kit, it didn't turn out too bad. What you see behind me now is I have this window blocked and the sun is on that side of me right now, so you can see the actual blinds that are behind there. Anyhow, with all that being said, I think we should get down to this work area and see what this actually looks like, because I have all of my cameras working today and I just love it. So with all that being said, let's get down to the work area and let me show you the reveal of this kit. Right back. Figures that would happen, right? As soon as I do a video, son of a gun. Let me see who that's from. Vincent, T-Mobile, Bill 7. I just paid you guys, man. What the hell do you want? You guys want money all the time. Anyhow, we'll do a roundy round. And now there's a lot of things that I'm not happy with this. And I told Manny that I was not 100% happy with this build. He said, don't worry about it because it's just going to be a static build, a static display. So I also offered him to give him a discount on it. Anyhow, we'll just do a 360 right now. And we'll flip it around this way. And this side here has the motor housing. Where's my pointer thingy? Oh no, I lost my pointer thingy. Anyhow, it's got the motor housing down here. And then in the back, in the blue, I don't know if you guys can see the blue. I mean, yeah, you can. You can see the blue. Right in there is the blue. And that is the oil tank. And then you can also see a muffler in there. Again, their instructions are not very, very good. As you can see, the ladders are on there, but I'm not 100% sure if this one down here is in the correct space. Otherwise, it's just hanging in the air. Walther's Cornerstone instructions are probably the worst I've ever seen. And that is the truth. And Heath will verify what I'm saying to you guys. They give you a picture. They explain how the kit was in real life. They don't tell you if part A has to go on top of part B or part B on top of part A. You got to figure that out for yourself. And that was a lot of problems with this kit that I was having. So with all that back down here, it's hard. It was hard for me to get all the paint out of the grooves where the main beams slide. So it's kind of rough, and like I said, he said he doesn't mind that, and I said okay, you know, and we'll work it out from there. Anyhow, these guys here, the Grappler arms, they are kind of delicate also, because they're only on plastic hinges. You know, we'll put them up for now. And I did break one, but I sacrificed one out of my own kit that I'll be building for pretty soon. And if one thing came out of this, I did find out a lot of ways that I could avoid some problems when I build this kit for myself. So, with all that being said, I also got some video footage of this on the layout on my intermole yard. These do slide up and down, toughly, but they do. And let's see if we can slide this one down a bit. See, one side is real loose and the other side is not. Anyhow, I don't think it would ever be getting that low. I mean, that is like totally lower than the train itself. Anyhow, with all that being said, Manny, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to do this kit for you. It was a little pain in my butt, but I got her done, as you can see. And you'll see all the repairs I had to do in the video. So with all that being said, excuse me. With all that being said, hope you guys and gals enjoyed this Vinny Built Structure video. And as always, your questions, comments, input, subs, shares, and likes are always welcome. For now, that's all, folks. BNSF 6951 and the cuz out for now. Bye.